Trash is big business in the United States, and the city of San Diego wants to see if it can cash in on some of that trend by outsourcing the operation of the Miramar landfill. But there's a twist. The outsourcing of the landfill is also tied to a big measure on the November ballot, Prop D, the half-cent sales tax. KPBS Metro reporter Katie Orr joins me now to talk about the landfill. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Gloria.
Why does the city want to look at outsourcing Miramar landfill?
Well, Miramar is a very valuable asset. It's centrally located. It has about 12 years left worth of capacity. But most importantly, it's already environmentally entitled. It has all its permits. It runs. There's no problems. These days, creating a landfill is a very lengthy process. It takes a lot of environmental permits. There are a lot of regulations. So the city knows this, and they just want to see if maybe they can look into getting a better deal.
All right, so I mentioned that there's a link to Prop D. How is it tied to Prop D, the half-cent sales tax increase that's going to be on the ballot?
Looking into the outsourcing of Miramar's management is one of the 10 fiscal reforms that must be met before the tax can be collected if it's approved by voters. Now, all the city has to do is look into outsourcing Miramar. The requirement is not that they actually go through with it. They just have to examine it.
So they've already looked into it, so it looks like that condition they can check off, right? How is Miramar operating now?
Miramar it runs through an enterprise fund, meaning it doesn't get money from the general fund. Its revenue comes from fees that the city and people pay when they use the landfill. It generates $31 million in revenue a year, and it costs about $20 million to operate just the landfill.
So there's $11 million left over.
Yeah, and that money goes towards things like code enforcement. If there's like litter or a dead animal on the side of the road, that money is used to clean that up. It goes towards industrial recycling programs, and it also goes to maintain several closed landfill sites around the city.
So the conventional wisdom would be that the advantage of outsourcing would be to save the city money. How much will the city save?
Nobody knows. And the city is very clear that they are just looking into this. No one from the mayor's office would talk to me about any potential deals. They wouldn't reveal who the bidders are, what their bids look like, just that they're looking into the deal to see if it's possible that they can strike a better deal for the city. Right now, the city pays $10 million a year in tipping fees at Miramar.
Tipping fees meaning?
When they dump their trash, you have to pay a fee, including the city. Everyone does. And so the city pays $10 million a year. So if a private company took over, maybe the city could negotiate lower tipping fees. But it's complicated because the city also receives money from the fees that the landfill generates. So on one hand, it may pay lower fees, but that means the revenue would go down, so the general fund would receive less money from that.
So it's almost like paying yourself rent and then paying expenses out of what you just paid yourself.
It's a very complicated situation. Maybe that's why they're not committing to anything just yet.
Well, they don't have to commit, but I'm hearing that there are some concerns about outsourcing Miramar, basically handing it over to private enterprise to run.
Yeah, there are some concerns. Like I said, the land is very valuable. And so does the city want to give up control of this asset to a private company? Right now, the city can say how much they charge. It can regulate how much trash gets put into the landfill, maybe to extend the life. Maybe a private company wouldn't do things the same way. Also, would a private company be required to support those additional services that the landfill supports now? You know, who knows? And there's the matter that 70 people work at the landfill now. What happens to those jobs?
And I would assume that there's no requirement that the private company would have to pay their workers' health benefits, which is what the city has to do.
You know, and I can't say for sure whether or not that would be a requirement because, again, you know, they're not talking about the deal, but these are all things that the city has to look into in the long run to see if it's worth it to give up this asset to maybe save some money.
Okay, so what's the next step in the process?
So they are looking at the bids now, and the city told me that they hope to know whether they will go through with the deal in November or December.
Okay, thank you very much, Katie
Thank you,
Orr.
Gloria.